Divine Mother, Divine Mother, let all the slaps of my trials wring from me. Only the one cry for your love. Only the one cry for your love, Divine Mother, Divine Mother. Let all the slaps of my trials wring from me. Only the one cry for your love. Only the one cry for your love. Divine Mother, Divine Mother, our Divine Mother. Oh, Divine Mother. Good morning, soul rebels. I think we need her. No, I don't think we need her. I know we need her. Give me shelter. Give us shelter. Give us the desire to have shelter. Give us the longing to have shelter in our soul. And if the soul has one thing to ask of anyone, it is asking a Divine Mother to make sure she takes care of us today, because she is, and she will, but to give us the realization that she is doing that we are so cared for, that we can rejoice today, no matter what. So welcome, everybody. It looks like, oh, there's two people entered the waiting room. Okay, well, where are you? I should see you so I can admit you. But we're going to jump right in because the subject matter is insane. Well, let's just put it this way. You will go insane if you don't understand the subject matter. So it's pretty insane too. We want to be insane in the way that we are God drunk, right? We're soul drunk. We are truth drunk. We are just totally first things first drunk. So we are going to start actually a new verse today, verse 14. And we are on chapter 7, verse 14, page 685. Are you ready for this? Okay, let's go. This is what the verse says. It is difficult indeed to go beyond the influence of my divine cosmic hypnosis. Our title today is the cosmic hypnotizer. It is difficult indeed to go beyond the influence of my divine cosmic hypnosis, imbued with the triple qualities. Only those who take shelter in me. Give me shelter, Divine Mother. Let all the things that are really hard for me, that are really troubling me, that always make up seem problems, and a heart that isn't steady, and a heart that's troubled. I need you. I need to take shelter in you. I need to have a heart that is full with your divine presence, full with trust and full with faith. Only those who take shelter in me. And then another name for that is the cosmic hypnotizer. If we're under a cosmic hypnotism, then we need to get to know and get up close and personal with the cosmic hypnotizer. Become free from this power. That's the only way we're going to become free, is take refuge in our soul. We're in Divine Mother's amazing grace and loving arms. Thank you, Clarks. Thank you, Clarks. Perfect. Hold that. Hold that forever. Hold that for yourselves. Hold that for your family. Hold that for our world, okay? Thank you. That is so beautiful. We're in Divine Mother's amazing grace and loving arms. Wow. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Because if we can take shelter in her, in the mother, we become free from this power of illusion. You know, there's one special grace that my soul gave to me early on when I started the spiritual life. Always sincere about it, very sincere about it. So at 19 years old, somehow my soul gave me the grace that I'm going to put first things first, that I am going to listen to what the Guru says, as those lessons came in the mail to me. And in those early lessons, he talked about make meditation first in your life. Put God first in your life. You know his famous quote, this and that can wait, but our search for God cannot wait. And it's been the best blessing ever. And I think it's going to be the best blessing for each of you when you decide that you are going to put first things first. That now it's not going to be easy, because I just put first things first before all the things that I wanted to maybe do, family affairs, everything. Never to miss my meditation. If I got my meditation in, great. I'll go do the human stuff and do the family stuff and all that, but not at the cost of missing my meditation. So there was a lot of parties, there was a lot of things that I could have done, but I put it off. I put first things first. And that is the key here today. If we're going to get over this hypnosis, if we're going to really tune in with the cosmic mesmerist, that's another name for it, right? And take refuge in the only thing that's going to bring us joy and happiness. Rejoice, rejoice in the light of our souls. Rejoice, rejoice, we're going home. Rejoice, rejoice in the light of our souls. Rejoice, rejoice, we're going home. And I promise you there's gonna be dancing and a whole lot of singing. And I promise you there's gonna be dancing and a whole lot of singing as we sing our songs in jubilation. We praise our Lord for our salvation. Everyone, rejoice, 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 rejoice in the light of our souls. Everyone, rejoice, rejoice. We're going home. First things first. Remember the goal? Spirit soul reunion. It's like at those things where you hit the you got to ring the bell, so you hit the thing, and then this thing goes up and bang hits the bell. This is we gotta awaken this first chakra and then go up the spine and hit the bell of where the soul in the first chakra is awake and ready, and it awakens all the other chakras, and we get up to the crown chakra, and bing, 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 spirit soul reunion. Mother child reunion, spirit soul reunion. All right. So first things first. I remember when even in the ashram, though it was so hard to do that, but being there kind of put me mostly in first things first, right? And so, but I still would get special permissions and for things. And I remember I was up at Mount Washington, where it was a little harder to get special permissions. I always checked with my counselor. He lived in Encinitas most of the time. Anyway, and he would give me a special permission. But my dad had some World Series tickets, so I got permission to take three other monks and two other monks. Two other? Yeah, because then there was my dad and me, and then there was four of us. So I asked this brother Mokshananda, who, because I heard that he had, just was a baseball fanatic when he was younger, and he kept the scores. He had all the stats on all the players. He probably had the whole deck of baseball cards. I thought, oh man, I got to ask. I wasn't really that close to him. He was kind of weirdly withdrawn guy, Brother Mokshananda. And so I asked him, do you want to go to the World Series game, brother? And he looked at me, said, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. But no, tonight I'm going to dive deep in my Kriya Yoga practice. Okay. First things first, right? Yeah. And even then, we weren't out, partying and having the run of the town, out very, very many times. So pretty much that's how it went. No, just put it off. This and that can wait, but my search for God cannot wait. I'm going to stay home and do my Kriyas first. Kriyas first. Tuning in with the Guru first. All right. So here's what Yogananda says. And this is page 686. We're going to just flip the page. It is hard to banish cosmic hypnosis and its entrancing phenomena, even after its influence has been detected, even after we know this, after we hear this today. So we've detected it. We're listening. The more interest you put in your listening, meaning the sincerest interest, focus, concentration, heart, the greater it is to absolutely get the point. First things first. So even though we kind of feel that, even after its influence has been detected, without constant prayer to its maker, God, to the maker of this hypnosis, to the cosmic hypnotizer, until there's constant prayer, unceasing prayer, constant interest that builds and grows each day, till it's just passion, till it's full-on passion for freedom, full-on passion for God's presence, full-on passion for that reunion of spirit soul, hitting that thing and bang, ringing the bell. Up and down the spine, we live Kriya Yoga, whether we're sitting in the meditation chair or we're doing whatever, we're still moving energy up and down the spine. It's so important, right? We got to get up to the heart, because the heart needs to get really super healthy, right? And then the heart's going to give you that extra boost to get it up to the brain, because we got to get that heart love up to the brain. So it ain't sleeping. It ain't in the subconscious, just hypnotized and doing whatever the ego wants you to do, whatever the delusion wants you to do. You're hypnotized. So you understand, you get the rift, right? So a hypnotized person, though, is unable to escape from the potent spell until she and he has obtained the help of the mesmerist. Help, H-E-L-P, his or her ever-loving presence. Right? Always ask for help. Always ask for help. Always turn within to the soul, right? I just got a few little things I want to just share with you from Ramana has a great quote where he says, "He who turns you towards self, capital S, and reveals to you the knowledge of self is the Guru. In truth, he is self and he is God. Cling to him. Cling to him." Go to our Facebook Soul Rebel page and just look at that quote where Krishna talks about that, you got to get out of this ocean of samsara. He said, this ill world, fleeting and false, you got to cling to me, make me your supremest joy. And then we can follow, we can follow this verse from Philippians. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice in the Lord always. Right? Rejoice. We're going home. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Rejoice, rejoice, because we don't have time anymore for limitations, just a bunch of lies, and we don't compromise. We don't have time anymore for procrastination, just a waste of time. And we don't have any more time. So we're going back to the place where we have come from. We're going back to the place where we really belong. We're going back to the place where we come from. We're going back to the place where we really belong. We're going back home to our soul magnificence. We're going back home to our soul magnificence. Turn with it. The guru is always, always turning us within. The guru is self in you. God in you is always turning you within and not without. You know, if we totally let that self rule us, the high self, the soul self rule us, there's no more. The heart is in the perfect place, because it's going to take undeviating, unceasing talking to the mesmerist and loving that mesmerist to get the heart open and trusting, right? We're going to find that if the heart's in the right place, the world's in the right place, and everything is in the right place. We won't question anything. We'll have unconditional trust and fearless faith that everything is being operated by Divine Mother and powered by Spirit, right? By the bliss Spirit. Wow. So a hypnotized person is unable to escape from the potent spell until she has obtained the help of the mesmerist. When a subject learns through the comments of others that he or she is acting like an automaton, well, your spouse is probably going to maybe tell you many, many times today in subtle ways, or quiet ways, or just right to the point ways, that you might be acting like an automaton, dear. I've heard you say that umpteen times. And Yogananda once said in his teachings, I'll never forget this. He said, you only need to be told once that you've made a mistake, or you're a bad person, or you're screwing up, or whatever. Once. That's all you need. Once. Obviously, if you don't get it that first time, you're not ready to get it, right? So the person who's trying to change you got to change themselves. They're not going to be able to change you. When a subject learns through the comments of others that he is acting like an automaton, he should himself, herself, try to overcome the irrational influence. If she or he finds himself powerless, we are powerless against this cosmic hypnosis. Totally, 100%. So when we find ourselves powerless, we must implore the aid of the hypnotist in dissolving the spell. Lord, free me. That's why I started with that song, Divine Mother. That all the slaps of my trials, because if we ignore this principle right here and don't turn within, and may take refuge in the soul, take refuge in the guru, take refuge in the light, take refuge in the love, we're not going to be able to dispel the spell, dispel the spell, right? Or dissolve the spell. Ordinary people are unable to escape from the triple delusion, or the triply delusive realm of Maya. Ordinary people. That's the last thing we want to be, is ordinary. We want to be extraordinary. We want to be supermen and superwomen. Why? Because we are. We are already. We are already. But most ordinary people don't think that way. Is unable to escape from the triply delusive realm of Maya, and their only hope for freedom is in beseeching the aid of the cosmic musician God. Our only hope here, folks. We forget. We're trying to get involved in almost everything. Interested, unholy curiosity, I call it. In anything but, this moment turning within, and with all your heart and soul having supreme interest or / passion for making contact with the soul, so the soul can boom hit the bell and give you a moment of spiritual reprieve from the spell, that you can actually be happy and fulfilled and contented in any given moment, within any given situation, under any circumstance. Would you like that? Would you like that? I would like that. Totally would like that. And I hope that, wait a minute here. Okay. And I hope that's kind of rubbing on you this morning, kids. I hope that's rubbing on you. Experiments of psychologists prove that a hypnotized person may be made to experience any bodily sensation, even though no sensory stimulus is present. Man, look at that. When we get locked into the subconscious and we're being dictated to by that horrible tyrannistic dictator of our ego, man, we're doing some really silly, stupid things, right? Thinking silly, stupid ways. So a person may be made to experience bodily sensation even though no sensory stimulus is present. They made to think, feel, will, and act according to the directions of the hypnotist. A hypnotized man or woman may pleasurably swallow salt or quinine with the firm conviction that it is sugar, and may make the motions of swimming while on a dry floor. Look at how your mind can be hypnotized. But at the same time, look at it on the other side. Your mind's so powerful that if you choose to believe, and even if you that you don't know if it's a placebo or the real deal, but if you believe it's the real deal, it will turn into the real deal. You can hypnotize yourself. Soul hypnotism. That's what we want. Soul hypnotism, right? That we know that we are in God and God is in us, and we are irreversibly, unconditionally, unceasingly one with that great spirit right now, and it controls the whole system. So if you, wow, it's going to take a lot of heart for that, right? It's going to take a lot of giving up your old faith pastimes and not missing a meditation ever. First things first. And putting more passion and interest in that meditation, that one-on-one with the beloved, or the cosmic musician, or the cosmic hypnotist, or mesmerist. Believing that you are surrounded, now this is the person under hypnotism or hypnotized, believing that he or she is surrounded by the coolness and splash of the water as she's swimming on the floor. By suggestion, she feels chilled during warm weather. By suggestion, what is your mind suggesting to us today? What is it? What's it suggesting to you today? What is it suggesting? We want soul suggestions, not ego suggestions. We want truth suggestions, not delusive suggestions, right? And during a simple walk, thinks that she or he is riding on a train or flying in an airplane. You can go on a walk today, but from a soul suggestion, feel that you are free. A free bird, free to fly, free to be anywhere in the universe that you want to be, just in thought, in consciousness, soul consciousness, not to be unholy curious, but to be divinely curious about the power of this mind when it's supported by the soul, when soul is reigning in the temple of your brain. He or she may be made to hear music in a silent place, to see colors and scenes and persons without their objective presence, and to smell a rose-like fragrance around a skunk. This is why, if you got to dive into cold water, you don't go, oh, it's so cold, it's so cold. And you repeat that. You go, it's a warm blanket. Sometimes the pool that I swim in, that the heater isn't as warm as I may like it. But I go, it's a warm blanket, just the same. Man, the power of that soul suggestion to the whole system is amazing. It takes the burn. I mean, the stress off of a situation, because we're the ones that stress ourselves out, right? He may be directed, or she may be directed successfully to read the thoughts of others, to review forgotten scene in the earlier parts of her life, and while blindfolded, to read the pages of a book. Wow, the power of the brain, man. And that's why we got to get healthy to get the brain healthy. We gotta be talking to the mesmerists all the time if we want to just bring the system up to snuff, so that we can now have a little more insight, realization, inspirations, some experiences of our true nature, right? We gotta be super aware of being super healthy all the time, and to follow up with the right actions, the right diet, the right attitudes, and everything. In other words, a hypnotized person is partially or totally amenable to the suggestions of the mesmerist. The individuality of the subject becomes, this is scary. Our individuality, let's put it that way, is subject to being submerged in the subconscious mind. Really? You wonder why you have PTSD on almost anything and everything that's going on in your life right now? To judging people, to seeing the world broken and this and that, and losing trust and faith, and not turning first to the divine mesmerist and say, help me here. This is too much for me. I'm powerless here. Help me. Help me. Your ever-loving presence is what I need. So you get the heart kicking, and they get the heart singing, and rejoice, rejoice, no matter what. Wow, I'm having a great time. Are you, Clark? You're the only ones on here so far. So we're submerged in the subconscious mind and does not appear, so long as he is responsive to the hypnotist. So the individuality of the subject becomes submerged in the subconscious mind and does not appear. So your soul individuality, your soul uniqueness, your soul gifts don't appear, as long as you are responsive to the hypnotist. But just flip it over. It just applies. It's either the delusion or the truth, right? Simple. We're either hypnotized by the delusion or we're hypnotized by the soul. It does not befit man or woman, the image of God endowed with free choice, to act mechanically under the influence of the cosmic dream and to behave like an automaton under the spell of cosmic hypnosis. See, that's another thing that we have chronic, probably, depression around. Nothing seems to fit. You don't fit where you live. Sometimes you don't fit at the house. You change residence eventually, or maybe not. Maybe you have a perfect fit there, seemingly, right? But then inside, with your thoughts and feelings, there may not be a perfect fit. So we're practicing to get fit for the infinite within us versus being unfit by listening to that tyrant with those false suggestions, the totally delusive suggestions. And delusion, my dear, and under that spell is a really bad fit. It's like wearing clothes that don't fit. It's like having a brain that doesn't really work for you. It's like having a heart that is just troubled and depressed. Because the heart and depression go one-on-one with each other. That's it. They go together. They're companions, man. And the heart and a lifted attitude, a lifted energy go hand in hand. An uplifted heart, uplifted energy. A depressed heart, total delusion. And nothing will fit and nothing will work, no matter how hard you try. So legends and tales couching in illustrative narratives probably every conceivable quandary that has played on the human mind, abound in the ancient lore of India. Imagine legends and tales couching in elusive narratives, probably every conceivable quandary that has played on the human mind. Wow, the wisdom of the East, right? Is untouched. Oh, it's in ancient lore of India, abound in the ancient lore of India. Has the Lord, who is untouched by the effects of his cosmic Maya, ever subjected himself to the overpowering delusion he inflicts on those he has created? Is the question that Yogananda is presenting to all of us. Has the Lord ever been subjected to his delusion, to his poison, to his hypnotism? Certainly the Lord incarnate in a fully liberated being takes on something of the cosmic hypnosis, or we take on, a liberated being takes on something of the cosmic hypnosis. We take on everything of the cosmic hypnosis, man. But they had to at one point in their life, right? Huh? There's no way you can escape the pull of spirit to bring you home. You'll see. We're gonna have a little reminder of that nobody is going to be exempt from the possibility and the strength and the courage and the grace to get home. Nobody is miss out on that treat, on that ultimate gift. So yes, the liberated beings take on something of the cosmic hypnosis in order to interrelate with his mortal contemporaries. When Jesus was tempted by Satan, his feelings were not a feigned struggle, they were a real test. Let all the slaps of your trials ring from me. Only the one cry for your love, Mama. Only the one cry for your love, divine Mother. Oh, divine Mother. That's the only way to deal with every situation. Turn to her. Turn to your soul. See, the soul hands off. This is a handoff. Or if you look at the chakras and moving up and getting that ball or whatever that is that rings the bell, the steel ball, ding, 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 ding. It's going to take a handoff, meaning that the soul, your first chakra, is going to hand off to the cosmic mother. It's your second. She's going to hand it off to the love force, the Krishna love blaster. At your third, the will to love unceasingly. The love blaster is going to hand it off to your first love, right? In your, first things first love. Going to admit Narayan here. It's your heart center. Oh, and your heart center is going to hand it off to the deep peace of the masters, and the master's going to hold you to send you to the Holy Comforter, right? The Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is going to hand you off to the Christ light, the universal light. The light's going to hand you off to Father Joy, and the Father Joy is going to say, hey man, let's just dance and party until you just dissolve back into the infinite spirit, oneness, bliss, everlasting. Woo-hoo! Ding! To underscore, so this is why life is a test. It's going to be a test today, many times over for you, whether it's just in thought, right? Are you able to have just, get the body healthy enough and to be aware enough today to deal with each thought that comes in so you can, dispel or dissolve the ones that don't work in the alchemy of choosing ones that are better thoughts that give you a little more energy and a little more blood to get into your heart, and the heart to just spring you forward into the brain. Right? When Jesus was tempted by Satan, his feelings were not feigned struggle, they were a real test. To underscore the power of delusion, a tale is told on an experiment agreed to by Lord Vishnu. This is good. Narada, one of the immortal rishis. Narada he was fun. He's fun, man. We got two stories of Narada coming up. One is the one I'm going to read you, and the one that I use is one of my favorites. Narada, one of the immortal rishis, and sometimes referred to as a divine trickster, Narada. for the discomfiting situations he often engendered the things that didn't fit situations. Discomfiting. I didn't even know there was such a word. Like, we don't fit here, man. We're strangers in a strange land, you know. We're just plopped down here. The stork dropped us off and said, good luck, man. I'll be praying for you. And sometimes referred to as a divine trickster, this Narada, for the discomforting situations he often engendered in order to test the gods. Suggested to Vishnu an unusual demonstration. Lord, do you realize how potent the delusion is that you inflict on mortals? Would you not know better about its force if you applied it on yourself? Ever ready to satisfy the questioning heart of the devotee, Vishnu responded, Narada, what do you want me to do? Narada said, attachment is not easily renounced when one is enveloped in delusive feelings. He said, why don't you go into the body of a mother sow, that's a pig, a mother pig, and see what it is like to care for a family of piglets? What? Right? Come on. Vishnu lightly accepted the proposal, but prudently added, if you find me staying in the sow's body longer than 6 months, it will be for you to release me. After chanting an invocation, pierce the body of the sow and I will come out. Vishnu thereupon disappeared from Narada's sight into the body of a wild mother pig. 6 months passed, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. God and a mother pig. God and you and me. Thousands of incarnations. Enjoying every minute of it, and at the same time going, I'll get through one day. I'll get through to this human after one of these days. I will. And so with all his love, he stays inside of you and goes through every detail of your suffering, every detail of a choice that he probably doesn't go, okay, I'm here more than ever. Because we're not going to make a choice, wrong choice, right choice, we're going to go to that field beyond right and wrong. That's where I live inside of you. I know you'll come and be with me one day. So here I am eternally until we're both going to escape and be rid of bodily incarnations once and for all. In vain, Narada awaited Vishnu's return by his own accord. Finally, armed with a javelin, Narada approached a rock cave where the sow lived with her young ones. When the mother sow observed Narada approaching with a spear, she bolted inside the cave with her family. Standing in the entranceway, Narada pleaded, Lord, please, Lord, come out. To which the sow replied, go away, Narada, don't bother me. And God saying to your soul, come out, go away, Lord, don't bother me. I got other interests right now. Right? Don't bother me. As prearranged, Narada then chanted. So that's why it's nice to sing a chant. To have a beautiful mantra or just something just spontaneous right there on the spot where you return within to that love affair with the divine. So Narada chanted. At the end of the invocation, the mother sow reluctantly emerged from the cave. A voice from within her said, throw the javelin at me, Narada. Narada complied, and Vishnu laughingly sprang out of the dead sow's body, laughingly. So thousands of incarnations when we're finally free, there's going to be, and I promise you there's going to be dancing and a whole lot of singing as we sing our songs in jubilation, and we praise our Lord for our salvation. Rejoice, 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 rejoice in the light of our soul. Rejoice, 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 rejoice. We're going home. So he's laughing as he sprang out of the dead sow's body. The Lord Vishnu was. Oh, Narada, it felt awfully nice feeding those little piglets. Oh, but Lord, let me just wait a minute. It feels awfully nice having this pizza with all the toppings that I love on it. How potent indeed, Vishnu said, is the delusion. I promise you, this is the Lord's promise. Even the greatest among sinners who, counseled by a noble guru, unceasingly seeks me as the immutable spirit, will soon have a purified soul and be liberated. So my favorite story of Narada was when Lord Vishnu turned it over on him, the trickster, and called him to his divine presence and said, Narada, can you do me a favor? Oh, yes, Lord. I want you to go down and get me a drink of water and bring it back to me as soon as possible, as soon as you can. Narada said, that's it? Said, sure, Lord, I'm gone. Boom! There he went, materialized in the countryside. There's a little farmhouse, just this idyllic little farmhouse, beautiful, beautiful scene, sunny day, just like wow. So he walked up to the door because he was going to knock on the door to get a glass of water and take it back to Lord Vishnu, and the door opened, and this most beautiful, beautiful maiden, this beautiful woman, just mesmerizingly beautiful, hypnotically beautiful, caught his eyes, and his eyes caught her. Well, she invited him for a little cup of tea or something, and that was that. He stayed. They got married, had children, worked the farm. One day, huge hurricane blew through, floods wiped out the garden, grabbed the kids in its flood, in its ferocity. Even Narada got swept away, and they're all just drowning. And he saw his kids drowning, and then his wife drowning, and he was going down too. And he heard a voice, Narada, Narada, where is my water? It's one of my faves. Verse 15. Wow, what a verse. Huh? What a session. Looks like Narayanji made it. Thank you, Narayanji. You and the Clarks, thanks for holding space. Woohoo! You represent millions and billions of souls on this planet who are hypnotized by the triply qualities, the gunas, right? And by the twin snares, likes and dislikes, and by reason and worldly desire. Thank you for holding space. To hold that maybe just each of you holding this kind of space today is going to help people be that next level of turning within to the Guru's help and asking for help with great interest and maybe some sincerest passion. All right, verse 15. How are we all doing? This is what Krishna says: the lowest of men, the lowest of women, perpetrators of evil and misguided fools. Perpetrators of evil and misguided fools. Whose discrimination, see, when we look out in the world today from the eyes of our soul, and there's so much you're going to hear about today that are, along the lines of perpetrators of evil and misguided fools. It can be so easy to just judge it from the perspective of where you're at and just today's episode, serial, right, of God's movie house. It's so easy to judge it just on the surface. We have no idea. Those souls that are going to be perpetrators of evil and misguided fools are one day going to be free, liberated, great souls, awakened, avatars. See how you can flip that over? That's going to give you good energy. Just that little reframing the situation on that. So here's Yogananda's commentary. Lord Krishna is revealing to Arjuna, men who willingly respond to the evil quality in my cosmic delusion, the tamas, and the restless rajas, and who continue to indulge guna, you know that, and who continue to indulge in promiscuous sex relations, cruelty, drinking, getting money by dishonest means. We think those things sometimes are just so innocent. You don't realize that every time you repeat something, it's going to get stronger within you. So if it's a bad habit, it's going to get stronger every time you put your mind on it. You don't even have to do the action. You put your mind on it and you dwell on it and you have interest in it. Same effect. But if you add the action, now you really, really got to call on Divine Mother, because you're going to get slapped around by that low vibration, by the depression, and by the anxiety that comes, and the misfitting of your divine nature in this human nature, where you chose the human nature over this. God, no, don't come. I'm not ready to come out of the cave yet. Right? I got to feed my piglets. So men or women who willingly respond to the evil quality in my cosmic delusion and continue to indulge in promiscuous sex relations, cruelty, drinking, getting money by dishonest means, and so on, are manifesting the nature of demons that live in dark worlds. Well, demons masquerading as humans. Yeah, we're interspersed with them. I mean, we even have our demon side, demonic side too, right? Yogananda used to make little drawings in the old days, in the old lesson. I don't even know if they have anymore, of people who are out of balance. See, we just got to get in balance so that the heart becomes healthy. We got to get in balance. More God time and less delusive time. Just 51% or more, and you'll be in great shape. All right. But he had these drawings of these disproportional caricatures that were, turning to the dark side, drinking, whatever, smoking, and they were all out of proportion. They're just distorted looking. They were pretty gross. He says, this is what happens when we turn to that dark side and stay there. We're manifesting the nature of demons that live in dark worlds. Such men and women do not become interested. That's a dark side. That's why you can't even open up the Pandora's box to look into what old habits and things you think you might be immune by now, right? Open it up, you just can't even turn toward the dark. You got to go right to the light. You just got to keep the light on, your love light on all the time. Be aware all the time. If we want to get healthy, to make everything healthy within us, right? You can't keep feeding the body and the mind and the emotions with the dark energies. We got to stop. We got to stop the bleeding, man. Such men and women do not become interested in superior, activating, and good quality. So what is your interest in all of this right now? See, if we don't improve on our interest today, we're going to have less interest in the divine. If we do improve on our interest in the divine today, you're going to have, it's like Yogananda says that, that the more meditation you do, the more you want to meditate. The less you meditate, the less you want to meditate. The more interest we have in divine transformation alchemies today, staying awake, staying ready, being healthy, or practicing the attitude of being healthy, even if you're not healthy. I don't care where you are in the scope of all of that. Don't even try to judge it. Just start today. Turn to the light, see if you can have a better thought when a negative one comes, a better feeling when a negative or emotional one comes, a reactive feeling comes. Just switch it there on the spot. Just today, you can start today. It can change everything. And then tomorrow's going to be a little easier. If we don't, if we're less interested today, if we get pulled out again, tomorrow's going to be similar. We have to climb that same hill, to get started, even to get a kickstart. Such men or women do not become interested in the superior activating good qualities of nature, and hence do not find the divine bliss trickling down from the spirit. God, the divine bliss that's always trickling down from the spirit into their souls. Shh. Right? And we need to go upstream from the root chakra all the way up to spirit if we're going to have that reunion with our maker and have that, no more return, no more darkness, no more pain, no more suffering. Those who develop a taste for eating rotten cheeses and extremely hot spices do not enjoy mild milk cheese and delicately flavored food. Similarly, evil men and women who overindulge in gross pleasures become sense slaves, repeatedly acting under wrong influences without the desire to taste, without even the desire or the interest to taste the subtle happiness of the soul. See, this is why it's so, wow, it's insidious here, meaning that it just seems maybe harmless, a little habit here, a little drinking here, and a little, thinking not good thoughts around anything is harmful. We learned that last week. It's treacherous. It's what the word insidious means. Though cosmic delusion has the strongest influence on evil men, even they can escape it by using discrimination, which can be rescued from Maya by meditating upon God. Even those who are in the strongest influence of the delusion, of the darkness, of the demons. But if evildoers persist in their wrong habits, they are reborn after death in a demonic world. Wow, none of you are even going to consider this. This is that's non-negotiable. You don't have to try to make it non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable, right? To persist in your wrong habit and be reborn in a demonic world. So there's a little thing here. See pages 975 to 76. I was curious to see what, because he just mentioned this, the demonic world. I wanted to see, and I'm going to read you a paragraph on page 976. It's actually chapter 16, verses 19 to 20. As proper use of the privilege of free choice serves to lodge the incarnating human in a divinely endowed body and heavenly environment. Talked about free choice last week, didn't we? Or the week before. So misuse of free choice, of this freedom of will, causes rebirth in demonic wombs, states of hellish existence on earth or in other regions of the universe characterized by suffering and violence, or in dark astral worlds of fearsome beings and nightmares. The karmic fate of the asuras, which are demonic mentalities, asura, A-S-U-R-A-S, Sanskrit word for demonic mentalities, is to remain entrapped in darkness delusion, birth after birth, if they do not rouse themselves. This is a lifetime of rousing yourself, regardless of your habits, regardless of the womb you were born in this life, regardless of the PTSD you bring forward from past lives, regardless of the habits and actions that you've done already in this life, regardless of all that. We've got to rouse ourselves from the ignorance by efforts at right determination and action. Thus may we descend to the may they descend to the farthest possible depths. If they don't rouse themselves, they may descend to the farthest possible depths, incarnating for a time even in an animal body or other medium, as may be the case in some insane persons who have lost all power of reason, or in some astral beast-style form. But listen to this. Such instruments, though, when you're at he calls it the bottommost, in the pit, dilly dilly, into the pit you go, into the dungeon you go, dilly dilly. You don't like my beard? Dilly dilly, into the pit you go, right? They have lost all their power of mind. They're in some astral beast-style form. Such instruments have no power of free choice and therefore accrue no karmic consequences. When you're out of your mind, when you're taken over completely by the dark side, you're not making karma. Isn't that crazy? When you've gone over the top, maybe at some point these tyrants, these genocide people and this and that, at some point they're maybe not making any karma. They're at the bottommost part of their mentality in a human incarnation, right? This is the mercy of God, kids. Listen to this. Such an existence, so therefore accrue no karmic consequences for their actions. Such an existence is the bottommost saving grace for the declining being. Your darkest moments, your darkest moods, we can say is saving grace for your decline. Wow, that means that the tests that seem to be way too much for you are your saving grace. People who contact Lyme disease and can't find a cure sometimes become herbalists and become healthy again. And then they're spreading all that good news to other people, right? And they had a horrible time with the Lyme disease. For example, working out past karma without the possibility of accruing further entanglement. So now they start to work out their karma, though. It's not going to be easy. Now they start the ascent, like you and I. It hasn't been easy, right? You start the ascent, and you have the saving grace to work out karma without accruing more. See, if we're not careful today, if we're not interested and passionate about first things first, hit the ball, ring the bell, go up, feel yourself reunionize with spirit. Soul is encased in a behind enemy lines at your root chakra, and it needs to go up to your crown chakra and then reunite with spirit. We rejoice already in that. We rejoice no matter where we are in this process, right? So working out past karma without the possibility of accruing further entanglement. Now we have a shot. We don't want to make entanglements today, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? This is why health on every level, physical, mental, emotional, and most importantly, the most important thing, in the heart. This moment, this breath takes me to my heart, where you, my beloved, are waiting. This moment, this breath takes me to my heart, where you, my beloved, are waiting. In my heart, you're waiting for me. In my heart, we laugh and we play. In my heart, we love and we pray. 'Cause that's where we long to stay. In our hearts, we long to stay. Then I go, beloved. In our hearts, we long to stay. Working out past karma without the possibility of accruing further entanglement, the descended being will then be given in his next life. This is the next life from maybe some darkness, right? We're in that next life. So this applies to us. We will be given in this next life a new and better opportunity to redeem yourself. And that is a little bit of the reason why I threw myself in the ashram when I did. Because I don't think I wanted to go along that road and go all the way to the bottommost when God gave me the grace to stop the bleeding, even though I was still bleeding. Seems like the dark side doesn't just leave because you decide to do some worthy, noble effort of your soul, right? But at least it stops the bleeding. And that's, I think, why I went in. So let me pull back. Oh, you know what? Okay. Oh no, I got it. So that was we finished verse 15, and then I went all the way over to that, page 975 to read that little footnote of of what we were just talking about. How does that, everybody? We're 11 o'clock Eastern. We're at 8 o'clock Western. We're at 9 o'clock Mountain, if that's correct. All right, and I think even Minnesota is 2 hours for Narayanji. But thank you so much for holding space, my dears. Honestly, we're gonna jump to next week on chapter or verse 16, which we'll hold off till next week because I think we've completed. We've filled up, huh? Haven't we filled up with some brilliant? I know. I have found you for a reason, right? I know we filled up with amazing vibrations this morning. Thank you for being you. Thank you for really making the effort. Thank you for really sending faster than you could ever imagine, because you're dealing with the test in the right way with the right ad. We're cultivating that, right? Everything is a beautiful is we're training. We're in training. We're in training today under the guru's direction, under the soul's guidance. Wow. Wow. WOW, witnessing outrageous wonders. May you have plenty of those moments today, my dear Narayan, Lisa, Jim. Be well, be happy, and rejoice. Rejoice in the light of your soul. Rejoice, rejoice. You're going home. Namaste, my dears. Love you. See you in that joy as we rejoice in the joy. Namaste.